Of the day, and as well, we say to the people, if they wanted to know the Quran properly, like even many of the people, many of the Orientalists, they literally learned Arabic to know the depth of the Quran, because they it doesn't give you the depth, the English language. It doesn't give you the depth. Even when I translate things in the Quran, subhanallah, you say, for example, Allah mentioned different things in the Quran. Some of these terms, even just only, for example, alhamd. You know, it's all of us. Many Muslims, they say Alhamdulillah. You'll hear Muslims, they say Alhamdulillah. If you think about it, they say it means thankful to Allah. No, it's not like that. It's not thanks. It's thanks to Allah. It's praising Allah. It's all of that. Is exalting Allah. It's all of it. It contains all of that in one word. Why?
Okay.
Why is that? Because Alhamd, you will say Alhamdulillah, whether something bad happened to you or something good happened to you, you still say Alhamdulillah.
So you've answered my
you say
question
Alhamdulillah,
already.
you still to praise Allah. So my point is, the Arabic language is so rich language. So if you put it in a language like English, which is less in terms of richness of the depth
So
of the language.
how have the other Muslims got that wrong?
Sorry?
You've just said that when you that sentence you just said.
Alhamdulillah, what did you do?
They didn't get it wrong.
No, they get it right. Everyone know what is it.
Yeah, but you just
The
said
Muslim-
they didn't get it correct. Yes, you said
No,
there's
I said
something else.
English translated
Yes.
to English.
There
they will
always
say
be limitations.
It's limited. The English language is limited.
There
It's not
always
as
be
rich as Arabic.
limitations.
And here's something which all Muslims, they understand the meaning of Alhamdulillah. That's why they know, and that's why they will not replace it. Even in the English speakers amongst Muslims, they will never say thankful or thanks to Allah. All of the Muslims, if something happened good or bad to them, they will say Alhamdulillah, all of them, because they knew or they know the depth of that word is much richer than to say thanks to Allah. You see how it's, Did you get the meaning? Did you get the answer?
To understand why the richness of a language, when it's translated, it's lost. When Christ says, Eloi, Eloi, or Eloi, Eloi,
Why are you bringing the Bible?
I'm not bringing that.
every time I speak, listen, every time I speak, this particular gentleman has an issue. Do you know why?
We are going on.
Hang on. Okay, it seems like this discussion.
I don't want to talk about the Bible. I'm just
Look.
asking
Look.
He's
questions.
asking you about
Every time I give an example, someone's boiling inside, like the gentleman over there.
You're a deceiver.
He calls me a deceiver, knowing.
You
He's
are
giving
a
example.
deceiver.
You know what?
Again, he's
He
giving
needs to be
example.
Do you know why he's boiling inside?
You cannot say.
Because he knows very well. He knows very well. When we talk about the concept of God, when this is the prime core message of the Quran,
Yes.
about God, who He is. This God is La ilaha illahu. There is no God besides Him. The same statement that we find repeated by Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, Prophet Isaiah. If these are consistent message, ask a Christian friends floating around in the park. Did Christ bring the same message? There is no God besides Him.
Baptize them in the name of the Father and of the
See?
Son
Different
and
message.
of the Holy Spirit.
Different message.
One
No wonder
God.
the boil inside.
One God.
That's a different message.
One God. It's
That
not
is
the same.
exactly-
It's your
that is exactly-
misunderstanding of
now,
it. And it's your.
when-
I won't use
Let's
the
have it
word.
one by one. Let's have it one by one.
Okay, let's
have it one
let's
by
now
one.
understand
We'll
What I'm
things.
going to
This
do,
is
I'm
from-
going to
Because you have to go, you said.
Yes.
You go
I'm
my
gonna-
friend, because
I'm gonna
he will
find
confuse
examples.
you.
Give me
He will wear you
examples
out.
I'm
From the
confusion.
Quran,
Yeah, hold
he's
on,
twisted
hold
it
on,
around to the Bible
Be
to
careful.
attack the Bible.
Because
Be careful, you might hit me with your
No,
finger.
go on. Tell it.
Because
You have the last
Be
say.
careful, be
You have
careful.
the last say.
So what I'm
I'm
saying,
going to find.
okay,
I'm going to
find things
and
to
come
us.
back. But when we have the
You know, but
conversation,
can I ask?
Let
Can
him
I
finish, let him finish.
humbly request you when you come back? Can I humbly request you when you come back? Come with open heart.
I have.
Yeah, that's
He
all.
did.
Oh,
He asked a simple question.
That's all.
I'm answering your question.
Yeah, that's
I'm
all.
open. I'm open to everything.
Meaning, what happened?
Do you know why I'm asking this?
Unfortunately, we find people. Unfortunately,
You know
what
when you
happens-
say open
it's
heart?
not you. It's not
No,
this gentleman
I'll
or
explain
others,
why I'm asking the
but
question.
There are many people. They will say, "Oh, there is contradiction in the Quran. Let's come back." Like where they brought some.
This is,
you know,
this
they
is,
keep
this is why I
doing
asked
these
your
things.
initial question.
Yes.
If I took Dawah off one person, say yourself,
Yes.
and I agreed what he said, and I've seen it on YouTube where you take street Dawah, is that right?
Would you check and verify
I'm
what
gonna
I said?
Yeah, I will do.
Good.
And you'll take street Dawah off somebody, what they've said. You will recite in English and in Arabic, and then you will become Muslim. My question was, how do I know that guy's right? Because what I find in the park is, later after I've seen all this, yourself has done it, and so is I forget his name.
Shamsi, you said.
Will then say that's completely incorrect.
That's the point I was trying to make in the first
What I
place.
was saying was, then I would have accepted your faith under false premise, because the person that told me didn't understand it in the first place, so he should not be doing it.
There are things which is generally all of us we agree.
But you know what the weird thing was? He said it didn't matter whether it was lies or not. It's the fact you've accepted it. That's bullshit.
There are
That's
things.
what I was told.
Listen. There are things.
That can't be right.
That's the point I was highlighting.
Didn't give him a chance to explain himself.
There are things
you
that generally we
spoke
agree.
so much.
Just a minute.
No, because
This is a sign of a Christian missionary, isn't it? Can you let him speak now?
No.
Yes? Now you say.
No.
No?
He's an inquirer. I'm defending this guy.
Okay.
He's asked you
He doesn't need
He doesn't need your defense.
We are not in a court.
serious questions. Two questions.
We are not in a court.
One about becoming a Muslim, possibly, and one about understanding.
So did I answer
you,
the
for 1
Can I
hour,
say something?
have driven us all mad.
I think he's having a go. Okay, so we'll
not
talk
talk
again.
Okay. Did I answer you? Yeah. So far. Yeah.
We'll have a conversation.
Okay. So next time we're gonna be here. What I'm urging you, come with open heart. You will came to learn.
You're saying by me coming with
Everyone.
No, you do have now.
Everyone.
But always we should have it. Always.
I do.
In Islam, there is something important. In Islam, there is something which is important in Islam. We will not ask you to believe in something without you understanding it. You understand? Means, and when I make you to understand it, I have to bring you a proof of my saying. This proof, it has to be like there is no doubt that beyond any doubt is truth. Yeah, and that's every single speaker. He has to do that when he brings anything to the people, or he brings, for example, any point. He has to bring a proof to the people that this is the truth. He has to back it up. Things which is strong message, either in the Quran or the Hadith, the tradition of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or what the Arabic language means. Simple as that. Yeah, is that clear?
Okay. But I did come with an open heart.
That's fine.
We
wish you to have that attitude in the same next time. And I'm here next time, inshallah, if Allah wills. I will be here next time. And any question, I'm ready to answer you. And I have to back up any answer with the things which is firm in Quran or Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
You take care.
All right.
Okay.
Take care, my friend. All right.
Just to give a final summary of the discussion, so I'll give what I started with, and I would like you to continue to give this is going to be an advice for the Muslims in general. So there are a few points we talked about here. We talked about how do we understand the text within a context, because the gentleman obviously had some issues of understanding the text without the context and with the context. Okay, you were saying people are coming up with different things and different ways of explaining. So I tried to offer explanation of principles of how we understand the text. If we don't know the language, we have to go and seek different translations to at least have a general understanding of things. Okay. Even after that, then go to people, speak to the people who have knowledge. And that highlighted one thing, because the confusion that gentleman had was actually from speaking to Muslims who did not have the etiquettes of giving dawah,
they don't have the knowledge
and the knowledge what they're talking about. So this is a point that I was going to bring up anyway. So, alhamdulillah, it has now come from a non-Muslim who has been offered in a discussion.
Yes.
It's coming from that gentleman. That Muslims, whoever you are, Allah has blessed you with Islam. Allah has honored you with Islam. You have the passion, you have the will and the desire to come and talk about Islam in this park or elsewhere. You can learn here or elsewhere and practice and give dawah anywhere in the world. That's not a problem. But what we are saying as Muslims, you have to have certain prerequisites, which I will ask the Sheikh just in a moment to tell you what these are. Because without this prerequisite, we should not take this responsibility, even though we are so passionate about it, to go and convey the message of Islam. So specifically in this park, whoever you are, my Muslim brothers or sisters, you need to ask yourself this question. I need to ask myself this question. Are we doing this for myself? That I want to be known as a speaker?
This is the question which we should ask.
Am I doing this for my fame? That I want to be a YouTube celebrity? Am I doing this to be somehow knowledgeable to people, known to people that I am, someone important, someone famous? Or am I doing them to show the people that, impress someone? Look at me. All of this is not going to be acceptable.
Absolutely true.
We should convey the message of Islam because Islam is the truth. And we are the bearers, message bearers of it. So we should come here to give da'wah, conveying of the message of Islam, only because we consider it that we should pass it on to others as best as we can. If you are unable to do that because you don't have the akhlaq and the adab, the etiquettes,
True.
and the knowledge, should you be doing it? Is the question that is going to be answered by Sheikh Muhammad. The other thing I was talking about, the labeling. I was laughing for months now, the attempts of mislabeling by certain groups, and this gentleman was one of them. And that's why he was boiling inside every time I opened my mouth, he was interrupting. They are labeling Muslims here who come here by themselves, with no knowledge, no adab, no akhlaq, as I can see.
SubhanAllah. Today,
They speak to them and then say, Islamic Dawah team failed to respond, this and that and that. Islamic Dawah team failed to prove Prophet Muhammad is a prophet. Islamic Dawah team failed to prophet Allah is one God. Yeah. Now, what they're doing is this mislabeling game, and as if like, there you go, Islam is dismantled. Why don't they come to the knowledgeable people and say, Islamic Dawah team? They know that when they will come to us and talk about this subject, they will have a proper discussion on this matter. But they go to people who have no knowledge of it, and then they think this represents Islam, and there you go. That is what's happening, and that is what I'm trying to explain, that there is no Islamic Dawah team here. Muslims are coming on their own to give dawah as much as they can. So, Jazakallah khairan, Shaykh, please give some advice and nasiha.
Just today, subhanAllah, today we were discussing a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was addressing the companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was saying, إنكم اليوم في زمان كثير علماؤه قليل خطباؤه من ترك عشر ما يعرف فقد هوى ويأتي من بعد زمان كثير خطباؤه قليل علماؤه من استمسك بعشر ما يعرف فقد نجا. Look at this, the meaning of this hadith, this beautiful hadith. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this hadith is mentioned in Tarikh al-Kabir for al-Bukhari rahimahullah, and as well mentioned in different as well books of hadith authenticated by our Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah. He said, you are now in a day, there is a lot of scholars and less speakers. The Sahaba, there is a lot of scholars amongst them and less speakers. Very few of the Sahaba who used to be speaking and speakers. And he said, alayhi salatu wassalam, now if someone amongst you lift 1/10 of the things that they know, then he's going to be misled. Subhanallah, he's saying 1/10 to the Sahaba of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there's going to be a time that the people, they're going to be more speakers about Islam and less knowledgeable people, less scholars, which is the time of nowadays. How many scholars we have in UK? How many we have? This is what's happening nowadays. So there will be less scholars, a lot of speakers, yeah? The people of that time, if they took and they held tightly upon 1/10 of the things that they know, at least they're going to gain success. So my point is, brothers, not everyone who thinks he's able to speak, he have to go to speak. It doesn't work like this. So my brothers, you are the one, you are representing Islam. So the people, when they come, they will take you, they will take advantage of your ignorance, and then they will spread it amongst others, and then you're going to be the one who is weakened, unfortunately, weaken the da'wah to Allah Azza wa Jal. So if you don't know, Imam Malik rahimahullah used to say, he said, don't know he said, the khatib or the mufti shouldn't leave, I don't know. He shouldn't leave this. This statement has to be always in your mind. I don't know. Simply, I don't know. Why you need to speak? Why you need to talk? If there is someone who's able to talk, then leave the people who are able to speak about Islam, defending Islam in the way which it should be. So thus we will find these things nowadays, and we'll find such people, they will come to us, and then they're gonna say, they're gonna accuse Muslims. They are unable to respond about Islam, where alhamdulillah, Islam itself responds about everything. And the Muslim scholars as well, and the people of knowledge, and the well-educated brothers here, for example, they are able to respond. So that's why you need to know a few things if you want to give da'wah. Firstly, the knowledge. You need to learn about Islam. Not the knowledge of the others, knowledge of Islam first. The Quran, the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second thing, you need to understand the correct aqidah of the Prophet ﷺ and his companion. You need to know it. In order, you cannot give da'wah to others where you don't understand your core principles of Islam. And the third thing, as the Prophet ﷺ, or as Allah has said to the Prophet ﷺ, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِ أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمِنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. This is my path. I call to Allah Azza wa Jalla upon knowledge, upon wisdom. This is how the Prophet ﷺ, and the people who follows him. And the third point, which is in the last one, inshallah ta'ala, the manners. Allah said about the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَلَوْ كُنْتَ غَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. Even the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, if you are hard-hearted, the people, they will run away from you. This is about who? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the master of the mankind. What about us? What about us nowadays? So we have to learn the manners and the etiquette and the way to give da'wah. وجزاكم الله خير. And Allah said in the Quran, as well said in the Quran, ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة. So call to Allah Azza wa Jal with wisdom and the good approach, موعظة الحسنة, the good reminder. وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. As well, discuss with them in the way which is better. This is how Allah Azza wa Jal is teaching us in the Quran. So brothers, I urge you, if you can, not everyone is able to come to the park. Like I found people, they come to me, they said, how I can be, how I need to talk, I need to speak. I said, Akhi, you need to learn first before you get to the time to speak. Wallahi, the knowledge, as the pious predecessors and the tabi'in used to say, they used to say the knowledge is four status: to be quiet, then to be quiet, then to be quiet, then to talk. To be quiet before you learn, to be quiet while learning, to be quiet until you comprehend what you learn, and then after that you talk. That's how the Sahaba and the Tabi'in, they understood Islam. وجزاكم الله خير إن شاء الله وجزاكم الله خير. حياك الله الله يكرمك فيك بارك الله فيك. خير إن شاء الله. I don't know who's who, which is which. This is.
Your daughter at Maghrib.
I prayed, yeah.
Okay, top one.
Yeah?
Jazakallah khair. Where's mine?
I don't know which one.
That one. Barakallahu feek.
Who's this one?
Don't worry, matter.